Prelude in C, practice speed 69 BPM to the crotchet. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and... Make the octave in the left hand from bar 1 to 3 loud, because that needs to last at performance speed. I mean, you'll be playing at 120, you'll be playing it at 110. Da da dee da da dee da 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 dee. So that octave in the left needs to last. So make it loud. It's still going. It needs to be loud. Okay. Having said that, let's look at right hand bar 1. Right hand bar 1. It starts on the off beat. And let's practice until the first note of bar 2. Okay? 2 and 3 and 4 and okay, up to the first note of bar 2 and 2 and 3 and 4 and follow those fingerings in the book, pause the video and practice that. Bar 2, right hand, same thing. We are going to start from the off beat of beat 1, so from the C in bar 2, from the end of 1, okay? 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. The fingers there are 1, 2, 4, 2, 1, 5, 3. Okay, those are the fingers. Finger 1, finger 2, finger 4, finger 2, finger 1, finger 5, finger 3. So, from the end of beat 1, bar 2, and up to the first note of bar 3. 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. Pause the video and practice that. Bar 3, right hand. I think I have found a more effective fingering for that bar, for bar 3. Again, starting from the G, so from the off beat of beat 1, the fingers are 1, finger 2, finger 4, finger 2, finger 1, finger 5, finger 3, and then the chord. This fingering of mine is more consistent with the fingerings that you've had for bar 1 and 2. Okay? So if you allow me to play bar 1, 2, and 3, I will call out the fingers and you'll see that they are consistent. 1, 2, 4, 2, 1, 5, 3, 4, 1, 2, 4, 2, 1, 5, 3, 4, 1, 2, 4, 2, 1, 5, 3, and 4 on top. So with my fingering, you get the same fingering for the 3 bars, which is a lot easier for the brain to process. So, bar 3 from the offbeat. 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. Pause the video and practice just this one. 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. Pause the video and practice that. Now, it's going to be your job to join those 3 bars. You know the drill by now. You practice bar 1, you practice bar 2, you practice bar 3. Now I want you to practice bar 1 and 2 until the first note of bar 3. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. Bar 1 and 2. Pause the video and practice that. Now we will play bar 2 and 3 until the chord in bar 4. 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. Pause the video and practice that. Now we're going to practice bar 1, 2 and 3 up to the chord in bar 4. 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. Pause the video and practice that. Bar 4, left hand. 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. Up to the first note of bar 5, of course. Again, left hand, bar 4. 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. Pause the video and practice that. Now, bar 5, left hand from the offbeat, from the D, okay? 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. Again, bar 5 from the offbeat. 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. Now, bar 4 and 5, left hand into the first note of bar 6. 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. Now, bar 4 and 5 into the first chord of bar 6. Let's have a look at what's happening. You have this chord in bar 4, this chord in bar 5, and this chord at the beginning of bar 6. I think the best fingering to do is 1, 2, 4, like it's in the book. I suggest 1, 2, 3 for the chord in bar 5, and 1, 2, 4 again for the first chord in bar 6. So let's now practice bar 4, 5 to the first chord in bar 6. Right hand. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. Again. 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. Pause the video and practice that. Now, let's put bar 4 together. Let's put bar 4 together. We'll just hang on to the last note of bar 4 in the left hand, okay? We'll just take it very easy here. Bar 4, 2 and 3 and 4 and hang on there a second. Again, bar 4, hands together. Hang on to the very last notes. 2 and 3 and 4 and just like that. 2 and 3 and 4 and now bar 5, hands together. 2 and 3 and 4 and once again, bar 5, hands together. 2 and 3 and 4 and now let's practice the glue between bar 4 and 5. So let's play beat 4 of bar 4 and beat 1 of bar 5. In other words, see, beat the last beat of bar 4, the first beat of bar 5. Let's do it hand separate first, okay? Between bar 4 and 5, last beat of 4, first beat of 5, right hand. 2, 3. Now, last beat of 4, first beat of 5, left hand. And then you put that together. Last beat of 4, first beat of 5, hands together. Pause the video, practice that. Now we play bar 4 and 5, hands together, up to the first notes of bar 6. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and I suggest you practice again the glue between bar 5 and 6. As well. So bar 5 and bar 4 and 5, 2, 3, 4. Practice practice that. And then just the glue between 5 and 6. 2 and 3 and practice all that. Now, bar 6 into the first note of 7, quite easy. 2 and 3 and 4 and again, bar 6 into the first note of 7. 2 and 3 and 4 and last time. 2 and 3 and 4 and now we're going to play bar 6 and 7, just the right hand. 2 and 3 and 4 and pause the video, practice that. Actually, let me do it again, but I will count out loud. Bar 6 and 7, right hand. 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. Pause the video, practice that. Now let's practice bar 6 and 7. Bar 6 and 7, just the left hand, very easy. 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. So you see how this arpeggio is everywhere. Again, bar 6 and 7, left hand. 2 and 3 and 4 and now we're going to play bar 6, hands together. 2 and 3 and 4 and pause the video and practice that. Now we're going to play bar 7, hands together. 2 and 3 and 4 and once again, bar 7, hands together. 2 and 3 and 4 and pause the video, practice that. Now we're going to practice bar 6 and 7, hands together. 2 and 3 and 4 and once again, bar 6 and 7, hands together. 2 and 3 and 4 and pause the video, practice that. Now we'll practice bar 8, right hand only, from the off beat of beat 1. 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 to the first note of bar 9. Once again, bar 8, 3 and 4 and 1. Pause the video, practice that. Now, bar 9, right hand to the first note of bar 10. from the offbeat. Bar 9, 3 and 4 and 1. Once again, bar 9, 3 and 4 and 1. Now we practice bar 8 and 9, 3 and 4 and 1. Pause the video, practice that. I suggest you also practice the glue between bar 8 and 9. The last note of bar 8 is A with finger 3. The first note of bar 9 is B with finger 4, and then there is, see, between the B and the G in bar 9 there is movement of the hand, change of place. I suggest you practice that. So the last note of bar 8 and the first two notes of bar 9, so that you practice that movement in any tempo you like. So let's stop the metronome. So it's A with finger 3, B with finger 4, G with finger 1, and your hand is in the new position, ready for the next arpeggio. 3, 4, 1, ready for the next arpeggio. Just a thought, and I suggest you do that in between bar 8 and 9, in between bar 9 and 10, and then in between bar 10 and 11, and also, why not, 11 and 12. Now we want to practice the glue between bars. So we'll play the last beat of one bar into the first beat of the next. So 4 notes with the right finger, with the correct finger. So the last beat of 8, first beat of 9. 2 and 3 and once again 2 and 3 and see, finger 5, 3, 4, 1, finger 5, 3, 4, 1, which puts your hand in the new position. Pause the video, practice that. Now, last beat of 9, first beat of 10. 2 and 3 and 2 and 3 and pause the video, practice that. Now, last beat of 10, first beat of 11. 2 and 3 and 2 and 3 and pause the video, practice that. Now if you want, last beat of 11 and the chord at the beginning of 12. 2 and 3 and 2 and 3 and pause the video, practice that. Let's now practice bar 10 from the offbeat. 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. And once again, bar 10. 3 and 4 and 1. Pause the video, practice that. Now we are going to practice bar 9 and 10. 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. Once again, bar 9 and 10, 3 and 4 and 1. Pause the video, practice that. Now we practice bar 11 from the offbeat. 3 and 4 and 1. Again, bar 11 into the chord of bar 12, 3 and 4 and 1. Pause the video, practice that. Now, we're going to practice bar 10 and 11 into the chord of 12. 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. Pause the video and practice that. Okay, we've practiced bar 8, 9, 10, 11 separately. We joined 8 and 9. We joined 10 and 11. We also joined 9 and 10. Now we're going to join bar 8, 9 and 10 from the offbeat. 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. I'm going to do that one again. Now, we practiced bar 8, 9, 10 and 11 on their own. Then we join together bar 8 and 9, 9 and 10, 10 and 11. We are now going to join bar 8, 9 and 10 from the offbeat. 3 and 4 and 1. And once again, bar 8, 9 and 10, just the right hand. 3 and 4 and 1. Pause the video, practice that. Now we are going to join bar 9, 10, 11 into the chord of 12. 3 and 4 and 1. Pause the video, practice that. Now, we will join those 4 bars, 8, 9, 10, 11 into 12. 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. Pause the video, practice that. Okay guys, this is important. Okay, we are going to talk about all those mordents between bar 9 and 11. They sound like this. So, it's a quick alternation between the G and the F sharp and the G. Again, you see? It's this. Just very quick and delicate. Okay, so let's practice just the mordent in the left hand at the beginning. And. Pause the video, practice that. Now I want you to practice the mordent and the octave and the G down in the left hand only. So you have to play the mordent, go down an octave. 2 and 3 and 4 and. Pause the video, practice that. Now we are going to join hands just for one note. Just for one note. So, on beat 1, bar 9, you have this. See, there is the B against the mordent. Just that. And. That was better. And. Pause the video, practice that. Now, let's practice the mordent against the 2 quavers at the beginning of bar 9. So, it's like this. 3 and 4 and 3 and 4 and. If you want to go slower, it goes like this, even slower, and then you speed it up as you wish. And last time, beginning of bar 9, and pause the video, practice that. Now let's see if you guys can play beat 1 and beat 2 of bar 9. Hands together. 3 and 4 and 3 and 4 and 3 and 4 and. Pause the video, practice that. And now I want you to practice the entire section from bar 9 to bar 11, just as we practice the first half of bar 9. Okay? So, the second half of bar 9, for example, well, that's the same. Almost, because then there is that after. So, but the beginning is the same, so you won't have a problem with the mordent because you practiced it already in the first half of bar 9. But beat 4 is different, so you might practice that. Okay? So practice that. But what comes after, 10 and 11, I want you to practice it in the same way. One note first, bar 10, at the beginning of bar 10, and 3 and 4 and. Then the 2 notes, 3 and 4 and. Beat 1 of bar 10, 3 and 4 and. Then beat 1 and 2 of bar 10, 3 and 4 and. Then you go on to beat 3 of bar 10, 1 and 2 and. And then you put all of them together. You proceed beat by beat, crotchet by crotchet. Even practicing the mordent on its own, and then with one note against it. I want you to practice in the same way. So, bar 10, first half. Practice that. Bar 10, second half. And so on. Bar 11. So, bar 11, first half. Second half. Then you have a go at the whole bar. So practice all those little beats and put them together. Now, to recap the individual bar, bar 9, hands together, 3 and 4, and bar 10, bar 11, and so on. Practice all those little bits and put them together. Now, let's practice bar 12, just the right hand, into 13, the first note. 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. Very easy. 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. Pause the video, practice that. Now, bar 12, left hand. 3 and 4 and 3 and 4 and pause the video, practice that. Now bar 12, hands together, 3 and 4 and 3 and 4 and pause the video, practice that. Okay, bar 13. Bar 13 is tricky, all right? The two hands play a different pattern. So you really want to practice, hands separate first. Bar 13, right hand, 3 and 4 and 3 and 4 and pause the video, practice that. Bar 13, left hand, 3 and 4 and 3 and 4 and pause the video, practice that. Now, bar 13, hands together. You might want to stop the metronome for a while and really play it note by note in no tempo, because the patterns are slightly different and you want to be very careful. Bar 13. Practice that very slowly. Then you put your hands together on bar 13 in tempo, 3 and 4 and 3 and 4 and bar 14 is tricky because we have semiquavers for the first time, okay? And they sound pretty quick. 3 and 4 and yeah. So how do we practice that? Bar 14, right hand only. First of all, you can pretend that they are quavers, so you practice them at half the speed. For example, and pause the video, practice that. Then we'll bring them back at this practice speed and we will practice 4 semiquavers at a time so that we have a bit of time to think about what's coming next. I mean like this. 3 and 4 and see, I'm taking a little bit of time in every 4 semiquavers, every beat. Yeah? 4 semiquavers at a time, in groups of 4. Then it's your job to wait less and less in between. So, then I want you to play 2 beats consecutively and then the next 2 beats like this. 3 and 4 and 3 and 4 and then I want you to see if you can play the whole bar. 3 and 4 and pause the video, practice that. Now, another thing that's useful is to see if you can play the 4 semiquaver of one group into the first semiquaver of the next group. So 5 notes, 3 and 4 and then pause the video and practice that. So, about bar 14, there are so about bar 14, those semiquavers should be practiced in a few ways. Every 4 notes, at half the speed, every 5 notes, and then basically landing on the first note of the next group. Then every 2 beats, 3 and 4, and then, but you can take it from beat 2. From beat 2 it would be 1 and so. Now, pause the video and practice all of that. Putting the hands together in bar 14, I want you to change finger over the F from 4 to 1. From 4 to 1 while keeping the sound. I'll show you. 3 and 4 and. And that's the ending, but we'll look at it in a minute. So, again, bar 14, hands together. 3 and 4 and. Pause the video, practice that. Bar 15, right hand. 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3. And it's finished. Bar 15 and 16 is the end of the piece. Right hand. 3 and 4 and. Bar 15 coming from the F that you changed on finger 1, 3 and 4 and 1. You need to hold the note on top. So, bar 15 and 16 left hand. 3 and 4 and 1. So now bar 15 and 16, hands together. 3 and 4 and 1. So once again, bar 15 and 16, 3 and 4 and 1.